If you're doing live sound, you need a good, solid vocal microphone that won't break your budget. So today I'm going to talk about several choices that you have. Hi, I'm the old sound guy, and I started my channel to teach you ways to sound great on stage or in the studio without paying a lot of money. If you want to sound better, save money, and get more gigs, like and subscribe and I will help you out. With live performance for bands, one of the most important tools is the vocal microphone. Your mic can affect the audience's experience more than any other piece of gear. If the vocals are solid, folks will overlook other areas. But if the vocals sound weak, then the audience will lose interest. Luckily, this is one of the most affordable and simple pieces of gear in your arsenal. If you shop the online music sites, you will notice that there are a lot of $100 vocal microphones. And that's because the $100 market is important to the microphone manufacturers. They need to stay competitive in this area. Entry-level mics can create brand loyalty, and that increases sales of their more expensive microphones. This competition keeps the price of these mics extremely competitive. For the band on a budget that is just getting started, it's a good idea to wait on an expensive lead vocal microphone and instead use your money to get every vocalist a good, solid workhorse. The offerings in the $100 category are the best choice for this. But how do you navigate all the choices out there? What makes one microphone better than another? And are they really different at all? For this video, I want to talk about dynamic cardioid handheld microphones because they get the job done. But in future videos, I want to get into the nuances of how you can use more specialized mics with different polar patterns and element types to accomplish particular goals. If that sounds interesting, then make sure that you subscribe to my channel. But for today, that's beyond the scope of this discussion. Because with a good solid cardioid vocal mic, you can bring clear vocals to the audience, which is the #1 priority. So what makes a microphone in the $100 category good or bad? The first factor to consider isn't how it sounds, but how it doesn't sound. The best microphones can faithfully reproduce sound with as little coloration and change as possible. That may seem obvious, but in practice it's difficult to achieve. Even the most expensive studio microphones struggle with this challenge. With these microphones, you want the most natural sounding representation that you can achieve within your budget. All the microphones in this class are different when it comes to sonic color, but they all share a similar characteristic called proximity effect, which means that when the microphone is held close to the mouth, it will boost low frequencies. This is common with all dynamic cardioid microphones. We have become accustomed to it, and some artists even use it to creative effect. The second factor to consider is self-noise. Does the microphone itself add any noise to the audio signal? Is it noisy when you handle it? Is there any hum, hissing, or crackling as it's sitting idle? Third, I will look at how easy it is to work with. I will look at gain before feedback, or how loud you can turn it up before it starts to squeal. A talented sound engineer who is well versed in using equalization, noise gates, and compression can make a substandard microphone perform in a satisfactory way. I would argue that a substandard engineer can also make a great sounding mic sound horrible, but that's beyond the scope of this video. The less that you need to do at the mixing board, the better. A great microphone will sound awesome with little or no tweaking. Finally, I will talk about durability and roadworthiness. A Neumann U87 is considered by many to be the best vocal microphone in the world, and at more than $3,000, it should be amazing. But if you drop it once, it will be damaged or destroyed. It would be foolish to put an expensive, delicate microphone in the hands of a performer that's likely to do a mic drop. The reality of playing in clubs and touring subjects your gear to stress. A good stage microphone needs to take the beating of the road and continue to perform. So why watch this video at all? Why not just grab a Shure SM58? After all, it is the industry standard. Every sound reinforcement company that I have ever worked for always has a bunch of SM58s ready to go. And for most, it's their go-to mic. But from a technical standpoint, it's not a better mic than many others. To a sound company, it can make great economic sense to use the SM58. This is because they get them for free. You see, years ago, Shure figured out that if they gave the major sound reinforcement companies free SM58s, then they would use them for their big name acts. The consumers would see these mics on TV and at concerts and want to buy them. And it worked. They give them to major studios and for decades kept two SM57s on the presidential podium. Shure's marketing team is brilliant. Over the years, I have received free mics from pretty much all of the major manufacturers. I assure that none of these will in any way affect the information that I give you here. For today's video, I have chosen 5 different vocal microphones that you may consider for your performance. They are the Audix OM2, the Sennheiser E835, the Blue enCORE 100, the Electro-Voice ND76, and the Shure SM58. The Audix OM2. Audix introduced the OM2 to compete with the SM58. It has become a favorite of many sound engineers because it has a good natural and transparent sound. It does have a bit more boost in the lower mid-range than some of the others, but this is not unpleasant and can be an advantage with some vocalists, particularly baritones. It handles well with little if any self-noise. It is easy to mix with very little if any equalization. I have never had one fail, and they seem to take the wear and tear of the road in stride. I know a few sound guys for which this is their first choice. The Sennheiser E835. Sennheiser is one of the top microphone manufacturers in the world. They have a solid reputation for producing some of the world's most sought-after mics. When it comes to the $100 mic, they do not disappoint. They used a different approach than the other companies in designing the capsule. In a nutshell, they used 2 coils wound in opposition to eliminate noise and hum, like a humbucker pickup in a Les Paul guitar. This design delivers. To my ear, it is the most natural, clear-sounding mic of the bunch. It seems to work real well on all voices. It does have some proximity effect, but it's not pronounced nor overbearing. I often use no equalization on this mic. It is roadworthy. The Blue enCORE 100. I really love Blue mics. In the studio, they have come to represent an awesome choice without spending a ton of money. When the Blue rep first handed me an enCORE 100, this microphone really surprised me. I really wanted to hate it. I'm just going to say I think it's stupid looking. But once you plug it in and use it, it is easy to overlook the odd appearance. I find it to be particularly good for female vocals as it delivers a bit more clarity in the upper mid-range. It is a little more prone to handling noise than the others, but it isn't bad. At the mix board, I find that I sometimes have to tame down this mic's higher frequencies. The build quality seems solid, but I haven't really tested it for durability. The Electro-Voice ND76. This mic cost $130. so it technically doesn't qualify for this video on price, but in every other way it does. The ND76 microphone sounds really good. It is pronounced in the high frequency range, but not to the point of causing problems. It has an airy quality to it that I find pleasing. It works better with some voices than with others, particularly when you're trying to get a bit more clarity. It is a good all-around performer. It handles wonderfully. There's no hum or hiss. It is easy to fit into a mix, but sometimes you have to work on the higher frequencies. It is built well and can endure the rigors of the road. And of course, the Shure SM58. The 58 is the one everybody reaches for. They say if you forget your hammer, you can use it to drive a nail. Shure has put out videos where they throw one in the ocean, run it over with a truck, and cook it on a barbecue, and it still works. I have witnessed this as well through many mic drops and drunken karaoke bumbles. The 58 is tough and will keep working such as it does through all of that abuse. But compared to every other mic in this class, it sounds muddy and lacks in clarity. On the other hand, if you're not comparing it to a better mic, it sounds fine on the bandstand. And if you are willing to work with the equalization at the board, you can get a good sound from this mic. Since I don't plan on throwing my microphone into the ocean or running it over with a Tacoma, I choose sound over durability. The SM58 is extremely tough and will handle any abuse. So if that's your thing, this is your mic. What is the bottom line here? With these microphones, there's a lot of preconception. Often people will just grab the one they saw on TV. I've worked with many singers that just want a 58. In that case, I always put a 58 on their stand for the sound check. Then I say, hey, I've got an idea. Could we try an experiment? At that point, I grab a couple of mics and let them hear the difference in their monitor. Almost always, they choose another microphone over the 58. Simply stated, you can buy any of these microphones and they will deliver good vocals to your audience. But that isn't the whole story. They are different, and the differences are subjective. So you need to feel confident with the microphone you are using. I can be your guide, but you need to decide. I usually use the Sennheiser E835, as it is natural sounding and works great on any voice. It has never let me down. My second choice is the Audix OM2, and it is a very close second. It delivers strong, clear vocals without compromise. I really like the EV ND76. There is no compromise in sound quality in this microphone. But because it's $30 more, I suggest one of the others is a better choice. When it comes to the Blue enCORE 100, despite its odd looks, it's a very good microphone. It does a good job on most vocals, but on some specific voices, it really sounds the best. Although I always carry at least one SM58, I rarely use it unless the artist is insistent. Please don't think that this is a hate video against Shure. I routinely use several Shure microphones. In another video, I will tell you about a Shure microphone that will help you make your lead vocalist sound amazing. I just really do not like the SM58. In fact, I find it to be one of the most overrated pieces of gear in professional audio. Of course, you should only use me as a resource and make up your own mind. I don't know if the current pandemic will offer you a chance to try these microphones before you buy. But if you can, then set up a demo of each and find the one that you like best. Also, when you do buy your mic, feel free to use the links below to buy it. It won't cost you any more money, but I receive a commission. which helps me to bring you more videos. And while you're down there, add your comments and experiences. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hate it, thumbs down. If you want to see more videos, subscribe to the channel. And if you ring the bell, then you'll be notified when I upload new content. In another video, I will take this to the next step, where I will tell you how to choose the best microphone for your lead vocalist. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you found it helpful. And keep making music.